get a lot of good battles from Commander Viper and VMAX and Hitman Jonesy, Epic Fearmen.
Oh, Epic's awesome. He's
And
one of our younger guys. But so Viper is an awesome story, and I really like this one because Viper was having a hell of a time. I think he had like a 40-something% win rate when he first came to me. He was like, hey man, he goes, I'm going to send you some clips of my gameplay, and showed me in-game results. And he goes, what am I doing wrong? Because he was posting really good scores, but he wasn't winning. So I went through and I'm looking, and I saw his capture points and zones capture were really low, and I'm like, here's your issue, man. You're killing planes, but you're not killing them in the right spots. I guess I'll go to the command center initially, and we'll work our way out from there. I'm not too worried about strategery with you around. But yeah, it was just the wrong zone. So VMAX, man, he is an awesome teacher. He's been busy lately, but patience of a saint, and he'll fly with any of our new guys, and he teaches them where you need to go, what you need to be doing, and when they get shot down, rather than listening to him complain, he goes, well, what'd you do wrong? How could you have prevented that? And he now, see, Commander Viper, I think he's up into the 70% realm of win rate, or getting close to, from 40%. That's pretty stellar, man. I'm happy about that. Good improvement.
yeah, our in-game relationship just started to deteriorate, and maybe a lot of it's frustration on his part, and to be honest, some taunting by me. And it got to the point where it was really unpleasant, and it started to affect some of the other guys in your clan too. And I thought to myself, this just isn't right, because I don't really even know him, and we hate each other. And so I went to VMAX and I said, I got this really bad thing going on with Commander Viper, and he, he's starting to headhunt me, and we got bad feelings in every battle we fly against each other. And so he got him on the PM with me, and I apologized for being insulting and taunting, and since then we've been okay with each other. Oh, who's shooting me? But that happens quite a bit.
There's a lot that isn't. There's no.
Nobody likes a snarky bomber.
Well, there's no tone in text chat. It's like the same type of thing where people get into fights with their parents because they don't understand the inflection of the chat, because it's not personal. That it's meant to be in a jovial manner.
Yeah. And I'm a very semi-serious person. A lot of my jokes, like, yeah, you're right, there's no context to it. And enemy bombers inbound. Let them reach their target. So there's a long conga line of guys in this game that would just love to, probably do more than shoot me down. Take me out in the back and rough me up. But,
well, it's like arty players and aircraft carrier players and the other two games. It's the it's the guy that you just can't. You got to be the right airplane to counter, and if you're not, then you're in trouble. Like, imagine being in a zero and going up against you, and you're like, well, what am I gonna do?
it all. I'm glad you mentioned that, because it all starts with looking at the roster before the game even starts. And depending on who I see on the other side, that really influences how I'm going to go about the battle. And if I feel like it's going to be a very challenging battle, I'll try to get to their side of the map and try to attract their attention and pin them down. So they have to, basically fight on their side of the map, help my team out a little bit. I'm a lot more casual when it doesn't really feel terribly threatening.
Now I know what you're gonna do next time I'm playing against you. Just
but there have been players that know me, and so then I try to be, I might be very unpredictable. I'll bomb that airfield.
That would throw me off. Like, what is going on?
There are certain maps where I will attack the airfield first for a good reason. And it's because the other side bots will flood into there. They'll take that airfield on our side, and it just causes problems the whole battle. And if we take it first, it changes the whole momentum of how things go. So when I look at the map and I decide what sectors to attack, it's really based on the map and who I'm playing against, more than anything. So my plan of attack can easily just change depending on who I'm going against and really the setup of the map. So I might not do the same thing every battle. But the bots are generally predictable. They generally do the same thing all the time, at least initially.
Yes. And they usually do the same type of counter maneuvers as well. Like, you can always plan on the BVP to do some type of weird death spin when you chase him down. Oh man, I love getting into a dogfight with a Mustang that then thinks he can run away from me.
I've actually found out that I actually play better when I'm chit-chatting away and not really paying a whole lot of attention to what I'm doing. It's like driving a car. You can be sitting there driving and chit-chatting and you're not really paying attention, and then the next thing you know, you're in the town you're driving to, and you're like, well, that was a quick trip.
So I used to have this thing where I'm sure you've had it too. It seems like a lot of people do, where you get in your car to go somewhere, and the next thing you know, you're like in your driveway, and you're like, uh-oh, what did I do between there and there? Like, what? How did this happen? But somebody brought up a valid point. The human brain like does like a defragment system where like it takes erroneous memories that it knows are just repeat old memories and deletes them. So your drive was so uneventful that your brain goes, well, we don't need that anymore. So rather than thinking, like, I'm like, man, did I run a stop sign? Was I just so oblivious I was running stop sign? You'd be like, no, you did everything right. Your brain just decided that it wasn't important.
Sounds a lot like my love life.
Yeah, of course.
My brain just delete.
Oh, I don't know why this P-51 wants to dogfight a Yak 3.
Communication with the headquarters established. We cannot support you any longer. The storm is too heavy.
Wow, look at how close those bombers are together.
Keep it up. Victory is almost ours.
You normally space them apart. They're almost right on top of each other.
Oh yeah, that's weird. Engines maybe? I don't know.
I don't know, but double bombers like that will flip any cap.
Yeah, well, that's probably good considering that they were really far behind.
It's a zero way up there.
Yeah, he was after you. He's dead now.
I've noticed too, more multi-rolls are getting up to higher altitude, attacking bombers, than ever before. Either that or it's just me. But I tend to get attacked by a lot of multi-rolls and the usual heavies. But the multi-rolls are more of the surprise.
So I have discovered multi-rolls, while they might not be altitude proficient, their engine power oftentimes surpasses your expectations. So they really can do that type of fighting. I mean, my BVP 215 is an excellent bomber interceptor. And you would never think that you were going to get intercepted by what equates to being a mid to low altitude multi-roll.
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to get another bomb drop. This is going to end.
Yeah, this game's over. Yep.
I'm proud of you.
Good guy.
Head back home.
Yes, more treasure.
Yeah. And a tier 7 match to boot. B-32. Usually, whenever I see a B-32, it's a tough sell, man.
For
To fight against, like, if
Yes.
I'm in a fighter, I'm like, oh, B-32. Like any kind of fighter, I don't want to see that thing. But I know it'll single pass and a single drop. Like,
yes, you can drop your string of bombs, flip a cap, fly to the next sector, drop your string of bombs, flip another cap. And if if you know your salt flying the V-32, you drop between targets, and then you take a far more out. You don't drop directly on top of the targets. You drop off to the side, so you get other targets in your string of bombs.
huh.
At least that's what I do.
So I will tell you, I don't. You've been talking about, so far tonight, you've taken the Ju-287 and you've dropped between sites and destroyed like 5 targets with a single run of 4 bombs. You just told me that you use a B-32 to string between sites as well. I mean, I think my bombs, I got them set up to be more accurate. But, and I can single pass a mine, no problem.
Yeah. As long as you get the center of that mine and a couple other targets, you have a good chance to flip it.
Like, I usually don't have an issue with single passing with the B-32, but I've never straddled multiple targets. I usually slam on the brake, or I'll go full speed, and then I'll slam on the brakes to do hard zigzags towards the end of the pattern to be able to get that spread a little bit better. But, I'd be interested to see what your perspective looks like.